Hello and welcome back to Glassnode's chart of the week. Today we are going to be looking at the Skew index. What that is it looks at options contracts and studies investors' willingness to pay for exposure for price to go up or for price to go down. In other words, if the Skew index is higher, that means options traders are buying calls, they're paying extra premiums on that, but they're expecting bullish sentiment and prices to increase. If it's negative, that means options traders are willing to spend more money on puts and they're expecting bearish sentiment to move forward. So today we're going to look at the 6-month Skew index, so how investors did over their 6-month bets, 3 months, 1 month, and 1 week. And we'll start with the 6-month window. When we do this, you'll notice that the Skew index has always been positive. Since options have existed, on a 6-month time horizon, people have always been bullish on Bitcoin and never bet on average more for puts than for calls, or they've on average bet for price to increase. You'll notice there's been windows where it was extreme euphoria and it was pretty much everyone's betting long and premiums were very expensive. We're at pretty close to all-time lows right now, but it's still positive. People are still betting on the 6-month performance of Bitcoin for price to increase. Similarly, the 3-month will follow a very similar trend. There was some euphoric phases. We got close to zero a few times, and we're almost there right now. But we're still slightly above that zero mark. And on a 3-month window, options investors are still betting long. But if we look at a 1-month window, you'll notice there were some times where the ratio went negative. You'll notice this was during the very bear market during October of 2022. And we've then since got there as of lately. We're currently slightly negative and judged by recent price, maybe not a bad call. And then if we look at the 1 week, it's kind of been choppy all the way through. There's been windows with euphoria where it's well above the zero threshold. It's gone well below, but for the most part, it kind of stays pretty close to that main horizon. As over a 1 week window, people might be more willing to bet against the price for a short near-term event. So how successful have these traders been? If we look at each one and just their win rate, meaning if someone's on the 6-month Skew betting for price to go up, how successful have they been? Did price actually go up across that 6-month window? If we filter to just that 6 months, we'll see that the win rate for price to go up has been about 70%. As we mentioned earlier, over the 6-month Skew, it's never gone negative. So this is just betting, like buy and hold, how successful has it been over 6 months. About 70% of the time since 2020 area, it's been successful. So well done with your diamond hands. And then similarly, the 3-month rate, again, never went negative. So if you just bet long the entire time, you were right about 60% of the time. So if we focus more on the 1 month and 1 week, who sometimes have bet negative, how successful were they? The 1 month had a win rate of about 55%. In the 1 week has a win rate of about 51.5%. So still on average winning, but that's not a slam dunk incredible rate. What I find interesting about this is it at all times has been positive. Like they have done a good job both on the 1 week and 1 month at on average being correct, but you're not going to see many hedge funds boasting about a 51.5% win rate. What this tells me is that there is some indicative nature of options markets, but you're missing a big piece of the picture if you're not also following futures markets and on-chain movements as well. That's it for now. Thank you so much for tuning into the chart of the week, and we look forward to seeing you next time.